Have you ever made a video request to know who really is Excommunicado? Is it Charles Dell or is it Pastor Rufus? Now, in beginning, Excommunicado is known as a Catholic term for those who are put out of the group and are blacklisted, and in some cases are known to have done either sin, iniquity, or transgression that would be so grievous they cannot be restored. So in such matters, there's a physical side and there's a spiritual side. So in this case, the physical is where some groups put people out of their assemblies for reasons. Sometimes it's not the original reason why. It could just be a smear campaign. Then the second is a spiritual, where if you go to number 15, there is people who, when they sin presumptuously and do such wickedness, that is when they get dealt with, and as shown, they can be marked for spiritual death, where they are separated from the midst of the people spiritually. And then afterwards too, there was a man who, as shown, he was picking up sticks, and as a result, he was caught picking up sticks on the Sabbath. He was detained, and it was given afterwards unto Moses and Aaron to have that man stoned. Now for that case, that was plain and clear. Now for the spiritual side, on the next level, you have people like King Saul, such as King Saul, who they're going to do what they're going to do, take judgment in their own hands, and go past beyond the limits from what the law requires. And then trying to get King David, he grieved the Ruach HaKodesh, and the Ruach HaKodesh left him, and the evil spirit came and troubled King Saul afterwards. So at that moment that the evil spirit came in and stood attached to King Saul, is where King Saul was cut off from the midst of his people. Then you have the third part in the letters where, like Apostle Paul, he writes concerning those who do not sin unto death. So those who do not sin unto death, you can pray for them that they may be restored. So if someone's quote unquote put out of a congregation and they can be restored according to the narrative given by Charles Dell, then it should be easy to pray for them and seek the Most High for them to be restored. However, according to the Torah, if you're a malicious witness, even a false witness, and you mete out a measure unto someone, and you're the one guilty of it, it comes back unto you. And the law is spiritual, so if you're trying to, physically cut someone off from the congregation and try to put curses and demons on people, then people like Charles Dell will receive his curses and demons back unto himself and end up physically being shown as cut off from the midst of his people. So even though you can go up there and speak a whole lot of rhetoric and everything, you could just look at him. The Most High is just far beyond from him, like he never knew him. Now you hear concerning Pastor Rufus, he was mistreated after addressing Charles Dell when going to Charles Dell and him alone. And what happened is Charles Dell got up in his feelings. Those demons started to manifest in Charles, and Pastor Rufus was put out of the ministry in record time, forced to go out as soon as possible within 30 days to get off his quote-unquote land that's supposed to belong to the congregation, to the ministry. However, that turned out to be Charles Dell's land. And furthermore, people who should know better than then they get involved in people's business like this. Ellis from Straightway the Ark decided to get involved and be nosy. This guy's supposed to be busy doing ministry stuff, and he's on the internet poking around being a monitoring spirit for Charles Dell, listening to the videos by Pastor Rufus and saying, see, I told you Rufus is an X, Y, and Z in one of his videos. See, Charles Dell's been teaching people to not only be retarded, but spiritually retarded. Because he's training them and he's cursing them. Just like R.G. Stewart does. A pulpit, cult leader, bully. So, some of these people who don't want to repent and get right with Pastor Rufus, they run the risk of utterly being sealed off on their sins and cut off from the Most High. So, in closing, who really is Excumunicated? Charles Dow is Excumunicated.
Excumunicated, in effect, in 5, 4,
3, 2,
1. All services are suspended.
and away we go. Excommunicado.
Confirmed.